Welcome guys, it is round 2 here for the GT3 Open Class Championship here at SARCO, proudly brought to you by Thrustmaster. We're at Long Beach. It is a spring day with 29 laps. We have a 10-minute practice with a 15-minute qualifier. Sit back and enjoy the highlights of this crazy race. So we take a look at the starting lineup, and unfortunately we lose Dupi as we end the qualifying, so he does not partake in this race. But in 15th place we have Colin for Dacol Racing, and he's in the BMW Z4 with the red trim. Moving forward to row number 7 in the yellow Bentley Continental, that is Jacques S4 TTR, and he's alongside a Yaku for Chasing Beavers in the blue Hot Wheels livery in that Merc AMG. In 12th place is Ash for the Cape Town Boys, and he's in the Aston Martin Vantage, and he has the orange trim on his car. And just a little bit further underneath the bridge, that is Gerard for Tosca 2 in the Audi R8 in the red trim. Moving forward to row number 5, and Ronaldo, he's for Shake and Bake Racing in that Audi R8, and he has the Luma orange trim on his car, and he lines up against Dirkie for Tosco 1, and Dirkie is in the Audi R8 and he has blue trim on his car. Moving forward, row number 4, and Dylan for the Black Mambas, he too is in an Audi R8. He's in the green and black with the green mirrors, and he lines up against Morris's Silverback Racing in that Cadillac, and Morris has the black roof on his car. Row number 3, and it is a all Project Cat affair. We have a Jacques V, and you can see he's in the Lamborghini Huracan with the yellow trim over the driver, and Ross, he too in the Lamborghini Huracan with the red trim over the driver. Row number 2, and the Black Mamba Jakes, he is also in the Audi R8, but you see that he has the black mirrors, and he lines up against Jared in 3rd place for Tornado Force. Jared 2 in the Lamborghini Huracan, and he has the red trim on his car. Moving forward to row number 1, and we have a Bruno for Silverback Racing. He's in the Cadillac with the yellow roof, and he lines up against Charles in that Audi R8, and Charles has the red trim. As we wait for the green lights to go, here, race number 2, green lights, and off we go. Guys all very safe coming off the line, and no bobbing and weaving, everyone's staying in their lane. Jared starts moving to the outside, looks like Bruno's got a run off Charles coming into turn number 1. Side by side, Jakes and Jared. Little contact there between Marius and Jacques there. Oh, there's contact in the back. We saw a Audi spinning out there. We'll just keep it here, a little side by side, Jared, and that was Jakes. Looks like one of the Audis got into the tussle there. That looked like the red stripe on the top of the roof. That is Ross. So he unfortunately put himself up into the wall side by side. That is Jacques V and Jakes. Just look at positions. Bruno's ahead with Charles in 2nd, Jared 3rd, Jakes 4th. Jacques V, he's in 5th place with Ross in 6th, Morris 7th, Ronaldo 8th, Ash 9th, Jacques in 10th place with Dirkie 11th, Gerard 12th, Dylan in 13th place with Yaku in 14th, and Colin down in the 15th position. Just watching the last corner, turn number 11, that Ross peels away into the pits. That was also Jared that went into the pits. So just to go back to see what had happened in the spin in the fountain area, we pick it up coming through turn number 1. We see both Jacques and Marius having a little contact, just both rubbing up against the wall. Dylan, he decides to go a lot wider just to allow some space there. But as we get into the entrance of turn number 2, fortunately that gap closes very quickly. That puts Dylan into the wall. Dirkie tapping Dylan all the way around, which what seems like a Audi showroom. Ronaldo manages to get through there unscathed, but that's Ash getting a little bump, and then Yaku getting a bump from Jacques. not a pretty picture. So beginning a lap number 2, and in shot is the race leader Bruno, followed very closely by Charles from Tosca 1. Through this fountain section, then into turn number 4. Then this tricky little right-hander onto a west shoreline drive. This is actually the same road that the pit lane is on. Then a tightening turn at number 6. The little kink there, turn at number 7. Then hard on the brakes, turn 8 into East Seaside Way. Not the longest straight, but it is the straightest straight of this track. Then 400 meters, a brake, turn in number 9. Then this tricky turn at number 10, which has 2 parts to it. Then hard on the brakes, hairpin, turn at number 11. So further back, that is 3rd place Jacques, and that was 4th place Marius. See, both of them now are coming into the pits, obviously just to get some repairs done to the contact that they had going into turn number 1. Then Marius has now stopped. That in the background, that is Dylan. So 3rd place driver Ash for the Cape Town boys. He's closely followed by Ronaldo in that Audi R8, and then behind him is Jacques just putting himself into the wall. We see in the background that is Gerard in that Audi R8. Just wanted to see whether he would be able to make a move there on Jacques, but it seems like Jacques has managed to stay ahead of Gerard. But Ash, he had started all the way down in 12th position. He now found himself 3rd in this race with Ronaldo 2 starting down in 10th place. He's now currently in 4th position. Just jump back a little bit and we see that Gerard has actually taken their place away from Jacques. Jacques must be nursing some damage on that Bentley after him coming to contact with that wall. We see Dylan is still in the pits after repairing some of the damage he had from that contact going into turn number 2. In shot is Colin. He started in 15th place. Oh, big spin there for Colin. He was currently lying in 5th place. We'll hear some cars going by. That is Jared, who has just gone past. Great recovery there, but more cars coming. That was Ross. There goes Marius. So Colin just moving out of the way there, realizing that did not want to get into any of the driver's ways here. So Colin, unfortunately, sitting in 8th place. He has now dropped back down into 12th. And in the background there with the yellow over the driver's side in that Hurricane, that is a big hit there for Colin going into the wall. That is unfortunately put Jacques into the wall as well. I think Colin just trying to get out the way, not to be in the driving line so he can turn the car around. So a lap number 5, and these 3 drivers, that is Ash in 2nd place, Ronaldo in 3rd, that is Gerard in 4th place. In the back there in the Bentley, that is Jacques in 5th. Coming through the fountain section. This race is definitely out of sync. Oh, little spin there by Gerard. Yes, we see that Jacques has been able to take that position away from him. So Jacques now moves himself up into a 4th position. So our race leader Bruno coming out of the last corner. He will cross the line to begin lap number 6. We can just bring up the positions. So Bruno leads with Ash in 2nd, Ronaldo 3rd. Jacques is in 4th place with Gerard in 5th. Yaku in 6th place, Jared down in 7th with Charles in 8th. Ross is in 9th place with Marius 10. Jacques V is in 11th place with Dirkie in 12th. Colin is in 13th, Dylan 14th, and Jake's in 15th position. great shot there of our race leader Bruno coming out of turn number 8. Yeah, hard on the brakes into turn number... Oh, that's Dirkie. He's clipped Bruno. So unfortunately the race leader has been touched. Bruno was looking to make an overtake and actually lap Dirkie, but unfortunately Dirkie just clipped him, and that has... Coming out of turn number 11, Dylan goes past. He's currently in 15th. That is Ash. He's in 2nd place with Ronaldo in 3rd. Carrot is 4th with Jacques in 5th. They cross the line to begin their 7th lap here in this 29 lap race. So exiting out of the fountain section, we bring up the positions. So Bruno leads with Ash in 2nd place up against the wall with Ronaldo in 3rd. Gerard, he's in 4th place with Jacques in 5th. Yaku is in 6th place with Jared in 7th. Charles in 8th place. Ross in 9th with Marius in 10th. Jacques V in the 11th position with Dylan having moved up into 12th place. Jakes is in 13th with Dirkie in 14th place having taken a pit. And Colin down in 15th position. So the reason I say that this race is definitely out of sync with guys taking pit options due to some damage and changing their strategies is that we are currently following the battle here for 2nd and 3rd place. So in a shot is the 6th, 7th, 8th placed drivers. Yaku being chased down here by Jared in that Lamborghini Hurricane. Jared moves to the outside and he will go around the outside of Yaku. So Yaku will go to 7th place. That is a shoal in that Audi R8. You can see how he really is attacking that inside curve into turn number 1. Back onto West Shoreline Drive for this little short straight before they break to go into turn number 6. Shoal taking a much wider exit there. In the background that was Jakes. Jakes is unfortunately, he is currently down in 15th position. Turn number 10. Well, that's Ronaldo. So unfortunately, he's dropped down. He was in 3rd position. Not too sure whether there was an accident or contact, but he definitely has lost his way there. So Scholl moving to the inside here as they come through the start-finish line. Then into turn number 1. So in shot is the 2nd place Ash. Just behind Ash is Dylan, who's currently down in 10th place with Carrot just behind him in 11th position. Oh, a little bounce up against the wall there for Carrot. But Ash really doing well here for this race. Ash having started at 12th on the grid, made it through some of the chaos that happened in turn number 2. And here he is showing what these Captain boys are made of. Just wanted to jump back. This is Jared currently in 4th place. Just behind him is Charles in 5th. Just understanding that the 2 drivers that are ahead of them have not pitted yet, being Ash and Jacques. So Jared getting very close to the wall there. Now coming through turn number 5. Who's lost the rear. Has put him straight into the wall. So Charles has moved himself up ahead of Jared. So Charles now in 4th place. Jared down into 5th. See the damage on the side of that Lamborghini. Definitely not sure he wanted to do that. Nevertheless, the racing continues. And just in the background there, that is Jake's. He unfortunately has been lapped by these drivers. Just jump a little bit further behind. That is Yaku. He's being chased by Ross. In the background there, that is Marius. So this is currently 6th, 7th, and Marius in 8th place. Will Ross go around the outside? Yaku goes very defensive, and he seems to have just let Ross through there. Not sure whether Yaku has some damage on that car. Oh, he went very wide there going into the fountain. Very nearly touched the wall there. A little bit of oversteer coming out of the car, so I do think he might have a little bit of damage. So further down the field, this is the battle here for 11th and 12th place. So currently Ronaldo is being harassed by Jakes. Both drivers in the same car. And Jakes does make that an easy overtake in the end there. So Jakes, he now moves himself up into 11th with Ronaldo down into 12th place. In shot, this is Morris currently in 8th place. Just ahead of him, that is Yaku. He's in a 7th position. Very close to the wall there, Morris. Then here into the brakes, turn number 6. Oh, Yaku got that rear very sideways. Morris going to have a much better drive coming out of turn 6. He will win that battle going into turn number 8. Now along East Seaside Way, Yaku will tuck his AMG right in behind Marius. 400 meter mark, brake, turn in, turn number 9. Marius having a much better line coming through there. Out of the hairpin turn, turn number 11, you can just see how much drive Morris is actually getting coming out of that corner. So unfortunately, Yaku will not be able to fight back for this position just yet. We pick up the action, third place driver Jacques. He's starting to get pressure here from Scholl. Scholl currently in 4th position here into turn number 1. Just that rumble of that Bentley coming past the wall. You can see a much tighter line there. Wow, what a great move there by Scholl. Unfortunately, well, little touch of the curb there. That's going to allow Jared to get right up behind Jacques. So Jacques still fighting off Jared. Here coming into turn number 6. It looks like Jared got the much tighter line there with Jacques going a little bit wide, not able to get that power down. Down this back straight into turn number 9. Oh, Jared's bounced up against the wall. So Jacques will go around again, but a little tap there in the back of Jared. Not quite sure what he was trying to do there. There was definitely no space for him to get through. So Jakes goes past, Ross goes past, there's Ronaldo, but I think Ronaldo is a lap down. Marius goes past. Yaku goes past, and Jacques will now rejoin. Without a rear wing, I'm sure he'll now go into the pits. There's confirmation, Jacques into the pits to get that damage done. Race leader Bruno crosses the line once again for his 15th lap. We can have a look at what's happening in these positions. So Bruno leads with Ash in 2nd. We have Scholl in 3rd place with Ross in 4th. Jared, he's in 5th place. Morris is in 6th. Yaku 7th. Jacques is in 8th place with Jacques S in 9th, Dylan in 10th, Jakes is in 11th place, Ronaldo is 12th, Gerard is 13th with Dirkie unfortunately disconnecting and Colin retiring it and calling it a day. We jump a little bit further back, and that was Ash still in second place. This is Charles in third. In the background is the Bentley of Jacques and the Audi of Dylan, but they unfortunately are both a lap behind. So Ash Hill across the line to begin his 16th lap. You can see that Charles is starting to close that gap there on Ash. A 1 minute 22 for Ash and a 1 minute 19 for Charles. So unfortunately Ash losing 3 seconds that lap. So we'll just keep the action here. Through turn number 6. You could just see the amount of drive that Charles had got out of that corner. Charles really starting to close Ash down here. Ash goes a little bit defensive, but Charles will have a look, but pulls out right at the end. Very close here. Charles just following Ash, but it looks like he went wider to try the undercut. That is an Audi bumper. Not sure whose bumper that was. It was either Dylan or Jakes's. So Charles tucking in right behind him. Will he move to the outside? No, Charles has a little look on the inside, but Ash defends. Into the fountain, turn number 2, exiting out of turn number 3. Ash really holding his own here, coming through turn 5. Out of turn number 6, Charles will move very wide, but he's just not had enough momentum to get around Ash, but he's right up behind him now, coming down this east seaside way. Will Charles have a little look on the inside? No, he doesn't. Into turn number 9. Charles tightening up that line, going through turn number 10. Will he try the undercuts here in turn number 11? Side by side, exiting out of 11. Charles should tuck in behind him. There he goes. Across the line to begin yet another lap. You can just see the straight line speed of that Aston is really superb. So Charles will have to find a place where Ash makes a mistake. Great driving here by both the drivers. Charles has a little look on the inside, but Ash closes the door, but unfortunately puts himself up against the wall. So I'm not sure whether Ash would have received some damage from that accident. Still a touch up against the wall there. But we'll see it in the straight line speed coming out of turn number 8. Side by side, you can see Charles starting to close down that gap. Charles will have the inside line here. I'm sure that Ash will concede the play. Side by side, Ash is fighting back, but unfortunately that's Ash up against the wall. So he has lost his rear bumper. So Ash will have to go into the pits, but that was a great 3 laps battle there by Ash. Well done there, man. So what we didn't know is that that was actually the fight for first place, as Bruno had gone into the pits. So Ash was leading that race up until the point where Charles had overtaken him. So in shot is our new race leader here on lap number 19. We'll just bring up the positions. So Charles leads with Ross in second. Right behind him is Jared. Marius is in 4th place with Bruno 5th. Ash is now down into 6th. That is Jacques V, he's in 7th place with Jacques S in 8th. Dylan is 9th. Yaku, he's in 10th place with Ronald 11th. Jakes is in 12th. Cadot in 13th place. So jumping to the battle here for a 2nd and 3rd. So that is Ross in 2nd, and you can see a damaged tornado force of car. Jared really fighting hard here with Ross at the moment. Into turn number 9. So Jared will be fighting some downforce in the front. You can see that a bumper is coming loose. Ross moving out of the way and not to allow any slipstream advantage. Across the line to begin their 20th lap, 9 laps to go. Both drivers taking a very wide entry into turn number 1. Through that tricky fountain section and around turn number 6. So while going through the replays, we did find this a little gem. We can just see coming out of turn number 8 how close Dylan actually gets to the wall. That is what street course racing is all about. So lap 21, and the battle here for 2nd and 3rd is still very much on between the Project Cat and Tornado Force drivers. Ross currently in 2nd and Jared in 3rd. Jared really fighting hard with that damaged Hurricane. Both drivers taking very similar lines. Well, Ross is a little bit wide coming out of turn 11. That might allow Jared to get right up behind him, but Ross moves over to try and shake him off from his slipstream. Round the main straight, preparing to go into turn number 1. Jared goes wide, Ross tightens up that line, staying off the red curbing. Ross finding a little bit of breathing space, but we talk about breathing space, that is just an additional 0.2. Ross extremely close to the wall there. Here into turn number 6. So we jump into the cockpit with Jared. He's now chasing Ross on East Seaside Way. No one behind him. 400 meters, a braking point here into turn number 9. Well, a little sideways action there for Jared. You can see how quickly these two are starting to catch the Aston Martin there of Ash. Ross trying to get Ash's slipstream, but Ash is just trying to get out the way. Preparing to go into turn number 1. Jared goes very wide, 400 meters, braking. Well, little bounce off the wall there for Ross. Jared has a little look, but Ross just squeezes him. Little clip up against the wall for Jared. I'm sure that's not going to help his bumper. 200 meters. Turn number 6, get that power back on. Trying to see if Jared will be able to get a run here going into turn number 9, but it looks like Ross has managed to get that power on. So Ross has pulled himself away from Jared at this point. So unfortunately, guys, that is where the replay ends, as we lose about 3 laps in the replay. So Charles, he will come home to win. Jared will eventually get past Ross Ross will finish third, with Bruno moving his way back up into fourth place. Marius will finish fifth, with Jacques V in sixth. Jacques S will finish seventh, with Ronaldo in eighth. Jakes will finish in ninth place, with Ash in 10th. Dylan will come home 11th, and Yaku will end up retiring. Colin will retire, and we'll lose both Gerard and Dirkie to a DC. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. It is such a pity we did lose those 3 laps, because we did have the moment where Ross was overtaken by Jared, and we did have a little incident with Jacques V overtaking Dylan, where Jacques V unfortunately losing it into turn 9 and putting himself into Dylan, and Dylan losing his rear wing, having to pit once again. Guys, if you did like this video, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the notification button. We'll be back again in 2 weeks time, where we'll take this championship brought to you by Thrustmaster to Algarve for a night race. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, yos.